Giving myself and Katie the opportunity to come out. Did everybody get enough to eat?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, was good. Good. So we did put some things in front of every one of you. This is obviously the typical swag that you're used to seeing. So notebooks and pens. Please feel free to take these with you. We also put in front of you this is all of our services. It breaks down the difference between the Plus, the Premium, and the Prestige home inspection package. And then this little pullout here is all the added services that we provide. Okay. The beauty of our system is that it's one phone call or a handful of clicks online. You can also schedule everything online. If you are the type that would prefer to do it that way, you're more than welcome. You can also schedule via text message. So, I mean, any way that works out best for you that you'd like to schedule an inspection, you're more than welcome to do it any of those ways, and I'll go over what those are. So, this one is for you guys. This one is actually for your clients. This is for your buyers. What this is an infographic that breaks down every aspect of the home inspection process. So when they ask that question of like, well, what the heck is a home inspection? All you have to do is pull this out, hand it to them, and they can see everything that goes along with it. And finally, you have this little thing that looks like a tent sitting in front of you. This is a $100 off coupon off of one of our premium home inspections. The purpose there is I want you to see the process and what the premium home inspection package entails, because, and we'll get into numerics here in a little while, but there's overwhelmingly, not just in this particular real estate market, but nationwide is really is kind of revolutionizing the way we do home inspections and what customers are coming to expect from this process. So Pillar to Post has coined this the ultimate home inspection experience for the simple reason that nobody else is doing even a fraction of the stuff that we are doing while on site. So we'll get into all that stuff here in just a moment. But to be clear, everybody in here has either been to a home inspection, seen a home inspection schedule, talked to a home inspector, seen a report, something along those lines, right? Like nobody in here has never experienced a home inspection. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, all right. So,
are you partnering with other people to do like the septic inspection, or is that you?
Nope, we do it all organically in-house, with the exception of our termite inspection. Now, the termite, we do farm that out to, we subcontract that out to Kennedy's services.
It all comes in the same report, same language, same verbiage, same
correct. Well, with the exception of because the termite report and the septic report, those are forms that are obviously, have to be specific numbered forms from North Carolina. So those are not included in the actual home inspection report. However, when we get to talking about homepage, you'll see what I mean when I say it's all in one place, neatly packaged and ready for you. Yep. So
Why don't you like it?
So we call it, like I said, we call it the ultimate home inspection. If it's okay with you guys, I actually didn't come to talk to you about home inspections today. My goal is to talk to you guys and show you how you're probably used to working with vendors, right? You guys refer to home inspectors and folks as vendors. Okay. With this, we've kind of changed the terminology a little bit. My goal is to be a business partner. My goal is to, with every single home inspection, with every single client experience, we are building our reputation in the market. We are giving the client a world-class experience that they're not going to get anywhere else. But beyond that, because it is a higher level of client care and customer service, it's also bolstering your reputation as a busy professional real estate agent. Okay, so we're not the you're never going to get the whole Chuck in the truck, showing up with his clipboard and taking a few pictures and issuing a report. This is a very professionalized process, and it's all centered around client care. So a little bit about us. We are the Holt Group. There is also another Pillar to Post home inspection franchise in Fayetteville, but that is not me. We are the Holt Group. We were established in November of 2018. That date and time is actually incorrect. It was May 2019 when we launched full bore. I still hadn't retired from the military. And I retired on Friday and launched this company the following Monday. And we've been going pretty hard ever since. We've done just over 5,000 home inspections all across the state of North Carolina in the last 6 years. I stated earlier, we are a multi-inspector firm. I have 5 full-time home inspectors on my staff. Okay, I am a licensed home inspector. My director of operations is also a licensed home inspector. So every facet of whoever you're dealing with, you're still talking to a home inspector. I don't do home inspections anymore. I have a staff of guys that do that, and they're spectacular. What that means for you as an agent is obviously if it turns into a personality conflict, or you just don't like the way the guy looks or something along those lines, got 4 more, it's fine. It's not a big deal. You can call and say, hey, I don't want to work with Jacob anymore, he's kind of weird. Who else you got? Well, I've got Noah, I've got, David. We have a full, so David is a native of Puerto Rico. He's a Spanish speaker fluently. So we even offer that as a service to you guys. So how many of you work with squared away home inspections?
I mean, I've heard of them. I think I had one person work with him.
I've worked with him before.
With Mike?
Yeah.
Mike's a good buddy of mine. We actually golfed together a couple times with Mike. Crumpler?
Oh, I know the name.
Yeah.
I don't know the person.
Yeah, good dude. But I mean, even, I've even put it out to Mike and other agents in the area. If you're ever dealing with a client and you need somebody to translate, just give us a call. David's more than happy to do that stuff as a licensed home inspector, and he'll help translate those reports. So one of the things that we do, just even if you're not working with us, the goal again is to take care of clients. Now this is every additional service that we offer down here at the bottom. Can everybody see that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see Whitney squinting.
I've got bad eyes.
So as I said, mold sampling, radon, thermal imaging and analysis. So all of my home inspectors are also, have spent a week up in Virginia at the FLIR Technologies lab, becoming nationally certified thermographers. So they're all level 1 thermographers, meaning that they can take the imagery and the data that's coming off of that FLIR thermal imaging system and actually translate it into like actionable information that the client can use and will be helpful, not just like, oh, look at this cool purple and orange picture. This is hot and that's not. That's a very cursory understanding of it. All of my inspectors are able to actually interpret that data in a way that's useful. Like I said, water quality testing, septic inspections, high definition sewer scoping, and we also do pools and spas. Now, as you stated before, you asked about things that we don't do organically, right? Like things that we're subcontracting. So that is the termite. Frankly, I am not a professional termite inspector. I'm a home inspector. So we try to leave that to the professionals. Not to mention the fact that they can offer a significantly better deal to the client with regard to future issues and repairs and service contracts and things of that nature. So we leave that bit to the professionals, but as far as septic inspections, 2 of my home inspectors are also state licensed septic inspectors, so we actually have that all in-house as well. We have all been to the pool school, we call it, down in Miami, and we got to spend a few days learning how to do pools and spas and whatnot. So we're all certified to do that as well. Any questions here? Some of our affiliations, we hope very soon to be on the local chamber out here, now that we're actually allowed to come out here without getting ourselves in trouble. We are at the regional level, the Residential Real Estate Council and the Women's Council of Realtors. We are a key strategic partner to both of them as well. And for Long Leaf Pines, we were the affiliate member of the year back in 2023. And yes, we're still bragging about it in 2025. We're pretty proud of that.
Did 24 even count?
So, funny story.
And it's barely 25.
For me. There we go. So funny story with that. So we went to the big luncheon because we're one of the sponsors of their luncheon every year, their big awards luncheon, and we also sponsor their Christmas party every year. And they picked somebody else as their affiliate in 2024. And so Katie and I are sitting there and we looked at each other and we're like, can't win them all, man. No big deal. So they called the group up and nobody was there from the group to accept the award.
So you had to accept it on their behalf, I guess.
No, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. We had a good laugh and then we left because we had work to do. But
and even better, the speech before it was, they're always here supporting us. They didn't show up.
I will say, Paul, I don't bother him as much anymore because I bother this mic to bother Mike Rakowski. But I have been with clients showing a house in Fayetteville.
Mm-hmm.
I think I sent him stuff underneath the house. I'm like, is this supposed to be here? I've been in my house. I'm like, is this supposed to be here? Down in Texas, my father-in-law's house.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and I don't ever have like a my new phone keeps
God bless you.
doesn't answer me, like, it's always an answer, so.
Yeah.
And I've used Paul twice, I think, maybe 3 times.
One of the things, well, to include your own personal house,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, so for me, I take that personal.
Yeah.
Like, I really appreciate the opportunity to do that for you guys.
And that was a refinance thing that we had to do.
Mhm.
That's why I had to use him. Well, I didn't have to use him, but we had to get an inspection for refinance, so.
Yeah. So these are the 3 packages that we talked about. So we'll start on the left. That's our plus package inspection. That's the most economical one. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's the same home inspection that the North Carolina Home Inspector Licensure Board requires of every home inspector in the state. Nothing wrong with that inspection. Where you miss out is here. So with the premium, you can see we have the PTP 360 interactive visual home inspection summary. We also have PTP estimates, a digitized, fully measured floor plan of the entire property, and PTP digital home manual, which we'll get into here in a minute. It also includes infrared scanning by a nationally certified thermographer, lifetime maintenance advisory service, which is kind of like what Whitney was just talking about. So at any point in time throughout the entire life of the property transaction, so from the time they buy it, while they're living in it, and when they're going to sell it, they can call their inspector at any given moment in time. The phone number and email is right on the report, and the inspector will take the time to actually walk through any of their concerns and so on and so forth with them. We will even return to the house at no charge to the client if it's something that we think we can help out with. Worst possible case scenario, if it's something we can't figure out and we can't, just go and, hand tighten something and help the homeowner, we have a pretty robust network of contractors that we know and we have personally vetted that we'll kind of put them in contact with. The whole goal here is obviously same as you guys, right? Repeat business. We want to make sure the client understands that just because we came into the home inspection that we didn't forget about them. And then second of all, I'm trying to free you guys up so you can continue to get more clients and get more money, right? So at the end of the day, if they're not calling you and they're calling me, what can you do with the extra time?
Yeah.
Spend time with family, of course, was everybody's answer, right? Or go prospect for new business and go.
We'll figure out where your chickens
So you grow your infection
What
business.
does an infrared scan show? What does,
So we use infrared. So we all use FLIR E8 XT thermal detection systems. And what we'll do is we will go through the property. We'll look at all the exterior walls. So I don't care about interior walls necessarily, but all the exterior walls where you see doors and windows, those are intrusion points for moisture, 9 times out of 10, especially when we're dealing with older homes where the seals may have failed, the flashings around windows and doors may have failed, and we have residual moisture that's sitting in the walls. Now, I'm not saying homeowners do nefarious things, but sometimes those things just get painted over when we're trying to put a house on the market. Before they call you to come out and list it, maybe they do some painting and things of that nature. The systems that we use can actually tell the differentiation in temperature on a surface at 0.003 degrees Fahrenheit. So what we know is that this material does not transfer heat as fast as water does. Water and air transfer heat energy at about the same rate. So so if I were to take my hand and I had my thermal system here, just that, you would see a very bright outline of my hand on it. Just that instantaneous heat transfer, that tiny little bit, is all it takes for these systems to pick that up. So anywhere where we can see that we call it thermal crossover, where basically the water that is residual in the material, be it drywall or wood, is at the exact same temperature as the air, but these materials are at a totally different temperature. The drywall, the sheetrock, wood, whatever it is. So if you're going along and you have this perfect little, I don't know, we'll call it orange wall, and then all of a sudden there's this weird blob and it's black, right? And you look at the temperature differentiation and it's like, I don't know, 3/4 of 1 degree maybe. So that's the danger of a home inspector saying, well, this color means hot and that color means cold. It doesn't. It's relative to the scene that it's in. So that's how we do it. We also look at all of the electrical receptacles, light switches. We pull the panel covers off. We look at all of the breakers, all the wiring that comes in. We move the breakers just to make sure everything's seated properly.
on that premium package, or is it included on the plus?
So that's only in our premium and prestige.
Okay.
It does.
So,
It's like a kind of a different. It's kind of a separate service. Like we don't just do it as we're doing the home inspection. It's done after the home inspection.
On the plus package,
Mm-hmm.
you check all the light switches and the outlets
Oh,
and all that.
Yeah.
And how about windows? You open all the windows
Mhm.
and all that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yep.
Run all the appliances.
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
Everything I can get my hands on,
On that plus.
everything I can get my hands on.
Okay.
So if I can't get to it, or I can't see it, I can't
You
inspect
will
it.
move like a rag off of the stove and not say inoperable because.
Well, sure, yeah, but at
There
the
have
same-
been some of mine that I'm like.
But I'm not moving.
Inspector.
Yeah, you.
I'm not moving large pieces of furniture.
Right.
I'm not, we had an instance where a home inspector moved a, I don't know, it was like in the garage. It was just like old furniture, right?
Family heirloom.
Well, it was. It still had the sticker on it from the garage sale they bought it from, for like $25 or whatever. But when he moved it, it very, very quickly became a family heirloom that was worth $2.5 million and all these other things. So I don't move furniture. It's not my thing. If I open up a cabinet underneath the sink and it's just stuff just jammed in there, I'm going to do my best to look around it, but I'm not like unpacking somebody's entire cleaning drawer just to look at it and try to put everything back the way they want it. So all that being said, if I can see it and I can touch it, then I can inspect it.
Okay, so if you look under somebody's kitchen cabinet and there's all their cleaning stuff and
Mhm.
all their plastic baggies and if you
Mhm.
can't see anything on the floor or the sides,
Mhm.
you just make a note, not able to?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so that
So
they
we'll take a
know
picture,
that
we'll take a
area
picture of it.
isn't-
We don't put it in the report because it's none of the home buyer's business what they're doing with their cabinets, right? But we do keep it for our records and for yours if you ever need it, if there becomes an issue down the road. So we do hang on to that and we tell them, it was full of personal items and personal storage items and so on and so forth, and we couldn't inspect it, sorry.
If the
And we move on.
bottles don't sit upright and they're all like leaning against each other, there's probably some water damage on that board underneath.
We just always assume that there's
Issues.
something down there, how many times have you guys been to show a house and there's not water damage, but there's like a weird green or blue
There's a
ring
paper
or like,
towel down there.
well, like the Windex leaked or something crazy along those lines, but at any rate, yeah, if we can see it, we can inspect it, and I don't have to modify the property in any way to do it, then we're good. If not, then we'll state it as a limitation and we'll continue to move on, because obviously we do two or three of these a day, and we're trying to maintain,
Yeah.
spending the right amount of time for everybody. Now that premium package, that one right there in the middle, there's a big blue box around it, and there's a reason for that. And I'm not picking on anybody, okay? So before you come for me, hear me out, okay? What I know, because we have 6 years of data to back this up, for every agent that calls me and says, I just need your cheapest home inspection, I don't want any of that, all that frilly crap, I don't need it. I say, okay. All right, bring the client up to the plus. And then I send them the inspection agreement, and they actually get to see all of this. They get to see plus package premium. These are all the added services that we provide. It's almost like an a la carte menu that they get via email. And then they go in and build it the way they want it, that's going to meet their individual needs. And then I get a nasty phone call the next day from the realtor going, why did you charge my client $1,200? I'm like, I didn't charge your client anything. Those are the services that they chose to meet their individual needs when they were presented with the options. Anybody want to guess what that upgrade rate is? Now, these are agents that told me they only wanted the plus. They didn't want any other cool stuff.
$100.
No, the percentage of
Oh.
upgrades. 72%.
Oh.
72% of the time, when a real estate agent calls and says, I just need that, I just need the basics, I go, okay, cool. And then I send it to their client that way. 72% of the time, the client upgrades themselves to the premium because of the value that is inherent in that particular home inspection, especially in a place like Fort Liberty. Fort Bragg.
It is brag. We don't
Right.
call it brag.
Yeah, I've been here for almost 16 years. I don't know that I'll ever be able to stop calling it Fort Bragg, but, so yeah, 72% of the time, the client reads it and they're like, holy cow, I need that. And then they sign it themselves, they add whatever services they want, they sign it themselves, and then that's the end of it. So we'll get into kind of what the premium is and why everybody jumps on it. And then finally we have the prestige. We really don't talk to this one about clients. This one was very purposefully built. We call this our healthy home inspection. So is anybody familiar with the ERMI testing? Anybody who have like severe allergies, COPD, emphysema, any of those types of like autoimmune diseases and issues? That's what this is designed for. ERMI stands for the Environmental Relative Moldiness Index. So basically the home inspector goes through, he does the home inspection, he does all the stuff that's in the premium, and then we get down to the bottom, and that's where the home inspector goes back out puts on his little white Tyvek suit and his respirator and his little gloves and all that stuff. And we go back in and we actually remove carpet fiber, microscopic carpet fiber samples. We have a canister that we use on the end of a shop vac that collects debris and materials. And what we're looking for is any potential molds, allergens, anything that could really set off somebody that has significant health issues, right? So if the client doesn't say anything about this, we really don't need to talk about the Prestige. Because the Prestige starts around $1,500. Yeah, so it starts around $1,500.
Well, you've got both living in your house. That's
well,
probably helpful.
So I just talked to a client literally yesterday, a lady by the name of Marie. She suffers with Lyme disease. And she's like, no, I want the Prestige. I want a separate mold examination on top of that. So, her home inspection was $3,200. But that's what she needed. What's that?
Find anything?
I don't know, they're doing it today. Yeah, I don't know. It takes 4 to 5 days to get all those results back from the lab when we send it out. So any questions on our packages? Because we're gonna get in the weeds here. And Mike, I'm moving, brother, I'm sorry.
I know you're good.
But for more people, I'll probably bring them back again. I'm sure you might talk about money, but military discount?
Yep. We offer a military discount. Well, it's not just military discount. So we,
Well,
COVID kind of rebranded all that for me. I didn't have to do anything. They did that. So we call it our local heroes discount now. So it's active and retired military, all first responders, all medical workers and teachers.
How about old people?
Yeah,
Do they
old
get
people.
discount?
We don't do the AARP one, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm kidding. Listen, they started sending me that stuff too. I was like, holy cow. I guess I'm there.
Means
So
you're
this is
50 now?
I'm there. Say again?
I said, it means you're 50 now?
No, I'm only 44. That's why I was upset when they started sending it to me. I was like,
That's
My
a
dad-
little too early.
we got a ways to go.
my
Like,
dad's 5 years older than my mom, and my mom gets everything. Not my dad, just my mom.
so these are the new construction solutions that we talked about. We already kind of ran over this, so I'll go over this very quickly. Pre-drywall by an ICC certified, International Code Council certified inspector. Pre-settlement closing and then the 1-year warranty. If they do the first 2, the third one's free. So I always, I have never been in a new construction home inspection and did not find something. The most common things are light switches that are backwards, or 3-way switches at the end of hallways that do not work, or broken trusses in the attic. Those are almost always what we find. Or a dishwasher that wasn't hooked up correctly and tries to drain all over the floor instead of into the drain where it's supposed to. So always a good idea. New doesn't mean perfect. Let us come through and make sure that it's actually legit for your client. All right, P2P 360. Essentially what this is, it's a
Where
map.
did the new home construction inspections start, money-wise?
Same as our regular, but we do a 10% discount on the off of our normal pricing if they go with a premium. We will take 10% off of the cost just because it is new construction, and we know we're not going to find that much stuff.
Right.
But yeah, so we do put the 10% discount on the new construction home inspections. But again, it's age of the home, what services the client wants, all those other things. So that's why I don't just stand here with a list and say these are my prices, because it's really every single client gets treated based off of their needs and their budget. Needs first, budget second. We also allow payment at closing. So I've had plenty of clients that were buying a home that really needed and they would significantly benefit from our premium package home inspection. They didn't have the cash. We let them pay at closing. We let them pay out of their closing costs. Not a big deal. Yes.
So if they needed a septic inspection,
Mm-hmm.
it's on top of the cost of
Correct.
these plans?
Correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
And how much are septic inspections?
Yep.
300? 275?
I
300?
think it's 275.
I think it's 275 if you do it with a home inspection. If you do it as a standalone, it's 300.
Yeah.
Okay.
That wouldn't include pumping into it.
No, you can't inspect it without pumping.
No. Well, you can.
Yes, you
Not very well.
You
You
can.
can. That is the rub that a lot of septic guys will tell you is you have to pump it to inspect it.
Oh,
But the reality of the situation is the filters, the baffles, the inlets, the outlets, everything that you need to see to inspect that tank is all above the scum line.
the poop.
Now, all that being said, we will sub out the pumping if somebody insists, but it's not actually, and here's the other thing too, if I pop those lids and I can't see any of that stuff because the scum layer is above it, then that means the septic tank isn't functioning, it needs to be repaired anyway. that my inspection's done at that point. It's not working. So, all that being said, yeah, I derailed for a
You
second. Sorry.
You contract that, you contract,
No, so the septic we do in-house,
you do.
unless it has to be pumped, in which case we sub out the pump and then we still do the inspection after it's been pumped and cleaned.
So back to new construction septic
Yes.
pump, septic inspections. Do you inspect the leach lines? Because I know a lot of construction vehicles sometimes go over, you know.
Yes.
Do
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
You actually answered, I think you just answered your own question.
It was nice
Like,
to
hey
meet you.
man, pleasure. Thank you
Sorry
so
to
much
have
for
to
having
run.
me. No, it's okay.
Two things to do before I have a meeting at 2, so.
All good. So yes, so the question I'm assuming was about to be, do we recommend doing septic inspections on new construction?
Well, no, then, so do you inspect the leach lines when you come out to do that?
We don't inspect them, we do locate them.
Okay.
So we'll locate them for the client and tell them
So
where
if
they
a
are.
truck's driven over the leach lines and,
Without digging them up, there's no way to,
oh,
there's
okay,
no way to look at them.
okay.
But we do recommend an inspection on septics and new construction for that very simple reason, because we have landscape contractors that are driving skid steers through there and
Right,
everything else.
right.
I've seen inlet pipes and baffle walls be crushed and nobody knows about it until the first 5 years later they go to pump it and they realize they have to buy a whole new septic tank because it was destroyed during construction.
If you could do a thermal scan, like run hot water through the system or something.
So that's what we do inside.
Oh.
That's what we do inside. So we'll, especially on 2-story properties, we'll run the hot water until the water heater is totally empty. And then we'll come through on the interior walls and locate all your drain lines, make sure everything, because theoretically it should be a nice straight line. So if it's a nice straight line and then this weird blob and then a straight line and another blob at the bottom, we have a leak in that pipe somewhere. We just have, and 9 times out of 10 it's because a homeowner wanted to hang a picture on a wall and they put a nail through their drain line.
You know what, I don't know I don't think y'all caught it, but I don't know if my house was done before or after. I re-sided our house, and it's an H&H house from 2014, and I don't care who it was. But the people that were re-siding pulled off our old vinyl and the water spigot.
Oh yeah.
It was being held together from 2014.
So that's the beauty of nails.
Yep.
And that's why we can't find leaks from
that nail
nails.
was-
We can't find leaks from the outside because if that nail goes in, it seals the hole, and you won't know about it until they pull that nail out 20 years later or 10 years later when they redo the siding.
I think the house was built in 14 and we re-sided in like 20.
Yeah.
It was, we didn't know about it.
Okay, along that line,
Sure.
do you have inspection tools for air conditioners that maybe the piping in the walls has been damaged and it's leaking, or, because that's not really.
No,
the same.
because a lot of times those leaks are microscopic. We're talking microscopic pinhole leaks, and the temperature differentiation would have to be pretty significant for us to be able to see it through thermal imaging. But I mean, any HVAC technician should be able to pressure test the lines and let you know if you have a leak in the system somewhere, if it's losing pressure.
When y'all do HVAC,
Mhm.
like heat and temp, like whatever,
Yeah.
do you guys do y'all use like the magnet thing in there,
Mhm.
or do you just point a camera?
No,
Thank you. Okay.
so
Sorry, I just want to make sure.
oh yeah, no,
It
well
wasn't
no,
y'all.
'cause-
I had somebody on the house I sold, the
Yeah.
buyer's inspector, pointed like from me to that vent,
Yeah.
pointed a camera, and then went and took a picture, and we had a nest, and our nest, like he had turned it and it said temperature going to fall in 45 minutes, like
Mhm.
we'll reach that. And then he took a temperature with no windows closed on like the hottest day of the
Mhm.
year, and was like, this isn't meeting temperature. And I sent it to another inspector, and they were like, that's not
Yeah,
how you
no.
check.
No, we have
So-
instant read thermometers with little
Okay.
magnets on the back of them. We actually put them up into
Okay.
the probe up into that, and we're measuring the actual air
I will never
temperature
use
that's
anybody
moving.
who doesn't have a pro.
Yeah, that's the most accurate way to do it,
Okay,
and that's how we do it. I've seen guys use the little laser temperature things where
yeah,
you know,
it's like.
and you're measuring surface temperature. You're not measuring air temperature at that point. You're not getting an accurate reading. So.
Cool.
So the Pillar and Post 360 is kind of our flagship thing. When we moved away from what the last fellow out here was doing several years ago, PTP 360 was kind of our flagship program. It's essentially the same as your Matterport style product. The only difference between this and a Matterport is one, we don't modify the photos. There's no photoshopping. There's no light editing or anything along those lines. It is a graphic, it is a true representation of each and every property. What we'll do is, once the inspection is complete, we'll come in with the fisheye camera, we'll set it in the middle of the room. It takes 1/2 of 180, it takes a 180-degree picture, and then we jump over to the other side real quick, and we do a little dance, and then it takes the other side. And what happens is it gets stitched together, and then we do that throughout the entire property.